is predicted to be the main source of energy in the coming future. Do you know that the energy that is being lost, only energy from the sun being lost per day, is equivalent to energy that is needed to power the whole world for about 69 billion years? Do you know that the sun can generate up to 39,400 billion terawatts per day? That energy is enough to power the world for about 69 billion years. For context, the world needs about 15.5 terawatts per day, yet the sun produces 39,400 billion terawatts. If you do the maths very well and divide 39,400 billion terawatts by 15.5 terawatts, you will find over 69 billion years of energy consumption. We are talking about the world. And currently that sun's energy is being collected by two common methods, which are, number one, solar thermal. In solar thermal, there are many methods of converting sun energy, changing it into heat energy, and heat many things like drying, like heating waters. In heating water, the use of like geysers, like solar towers, flat plate collectors. And number two, we have what we call the most common one, which is solar PV. In solar PV, there is the use of what is commonly called solar panels, batteries. The batteries, after batteries, we have what we call the inverter that makes a solar system. So in this video, we are going to mainly focus on what we call solar PV, as it is the common method of collecting sun's energy and converting it into electricity. So there are some calculations that needed to be done when designing a solar system, and those calculations can help you determine the size of inverter needed, the battery capacity needed, number of panels needed. In these calculations, there is what we call peak power. Peak power can be calculated as the quantity or devices of the client multiplied by the wattage of those devices. After peak power, we have what we call surge power. The surge power can be calculated as 3 multiplied by the peak power, y multiplied by 3. We multiply by 3 so that our system can be able to accommodate higher voltage and lower voltage. Again, on number 3, we calculate what we call night energy demand. Night energy demand, this is the energy needed or energy being used or energy being required during the operation of all the appliances that operate during the night. And that amount of energy is calculated as the total peak power device, and then multiplied by number of night hours of operation. After calculating the night energy demand, we have to calculate what we call the day energy demand. In day energy demand, this is the total energy being required or being used by the devices, right? Now, how to calculate the day energy demand? You multiply the peak power multiplied by total number of hours. This total number of hours include the daily hours and the night hours. So you add the hours during the day and the hours during the night. Let's take, for example, you are an engineer. You are a solar engineer, and a client approaches you with his or her request for getting a solar backup at his or her home. And he provided you with all the necessary requirements needed for you to figure out the size of the system. And yet you have to come up with the design which includes the size of the inverter, number 1, number 2, the battery bank size, number 2, number 3, the PV array size or the panel number. Like how many panels do you need for the system? Okay, let's take this table for example. So the table constitutes of what we call, number one, we have load. The load required. That load can be per device. That load can be the total number of devices that's available. Quantity or devices. Wattage of the devices. Day hours, daily hours of operations. Night hours of operations. How many hours does it operate during the night? Peak power, surge power, night energy demand, and finally, day energy demand. And on the left side, we have what we call the description of the device. Description of the device, which we can name for the television, upright fridge, inside lights, outside lights, the borehole, the booster pump, microwave, washing machine. And we assume, or let's say, our client has provided us with the following information. There are 5 televisions, 2 fridges, 20 inside lights, 6 outside lights, 1 borehole, 1 booster pump, 1 microwave, and 1 washing machine. And all these devices, they constitute a wattage of 600 for televisions, 500 for upright fridge, 10 for inside lights, 60 for outside lights, the borehole 750, the booster pump 400, microwave 1500, washing machine 400. And they operate according to the following hours. Televisions operate 7 hours a day, upright fridge 6 hours a day, inside lights 12 hours a day, outside lights they don't operate during the day. Why? Because they are security lights. They only operate during the night. Borehole 3 hours a day, booster pump 4 hours a day, microwave 1 hour, washing machine 4 hours a day. And during the night, the television only works for 4 hours, upright fridge for 5 hours, inside lights for 4 hours, and the outside lights for 3 hours. The borehole, they don't operate during the night. The booster pump don't operate during the night. Microwave operates for 1 hour. Washing machine don't operate during the night. Now we have to calculate all the necessary or the missing requirements given all these information. So to calculate the peak power, as we said earlier, if you want to calculate the peak power, you can say quantity multiplied by what it does. 5 multiplied by 600, we get 3000. 2 multiplied by 500, we get 1000. 20 multiplied by 10, we get 200. 6 multiplied by 60, we get 360. 1 multiplied by 750, we get 750. 1 multiplied by 400, we get 400. 1500, we get 1500 or 400. Now we have to calculate the surge power. Surge power, if you recall very well, we'll say peak power multiplied by 3. That's 3000 multiplied by 3, that's 9000. 3000 here, 600 here, 1080 here, 750, 2250, 1200, 4500, 1200. For night energy demand multiplied by 9 hours, we get 12,000, we get 5,000, we got 800, we get nothing. Why? Because it doesn't work during that day. It doesn't work during the night. We get nothing for borehole, we get nothing for booster pump, but for microwave we get something, 1500. Washing machine, we get nothing. Daily energy demands, we get 27,000, we get 12,000, we get 2,000, we get 4,320, we get 2,250, we get 1,600, we get 3,000, we get 1,600, which is 1,600. After we fill in all the details in the table, we are almost there. What is the next step now? The next step now is to calculate the major components of the system. So how to calculate the major components of the system? By calculating the major components of the system, what you need to do first is to find the sum of all the energies needed for the system. So like the total peak power, the total surge power, the total day energy demand, the total night energy demands, find all the total. Like what we did here, the peak power we just ate can get 7,610 watts. Surge power total, we did it and we got 3,930. And for night energy demands, we do the maths and we got 19,300. The energy demands, we did the maths and got 53,950. And now we can now begin our sizing of our components. So we are starting by determining the size of the inverter. So the inverter size is so simple to calculate. We shall see in our next video how to determine the inverter size, how to determine the battery bank size, how to determine the PV array size, how to determine the configuration up all the way up to the cables. So stay tuned in our next video. Thank you.